Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I'm Liz Quinn, your Star Scentsy consultant. So today what I have for you is a very interesting video. I just got to thinking about a lot of the smells that I would recommend to my customers because it's that time of year again where I'm getting emails and people want to know, what do you think is the best scent and this kind of deal. And I started putting some things on Instagram and started getting some interesting feedback. And that kind of gave me an idea to do a video, which I'm going to be titling Scentsy's Scariest Catalog Scents. Now, not in the sense of these are the all-time weirdest scents that Scentsy's ever produced. No, because that's a different video. These are the scents that you guys won't order, the ones that scare you. And I did a poll both on my Facebook, just a post, and then an Instagram thing. And this is the new roster for the fall-winter catalog that'll start September 1st. This is what I'm using for consideration. And you know, guys, I now understand why you all tell me that when you watch my channel, I am opening up your mind to new scents. Because you know what? Out of the top 12, the majority of the things you will not buy, you absolutely refuse to try, are all the ones that I personally love. So this was a very interesting learning experience for me as a consultant and as a Scentsy consumer. So I'm going to give you the top 5. Now, a couple of the ones in the top 5 I don't care for at all either, and this is just normal, I get it. But y'all are spice haters, let me just put it that way. So first off, the top 5 are weathered leather. Who's surprised about that? Nobody thinks weathered leather is something that they should order, and we will talk about all of these scents and my experience and people that I've talked to who like it, don't like it with all of these. Number 2 is one of my all-time favorites. It's Maple Apple Bourbon. Came in at number 2. Will not order this. I'm scared of it. Won't try it. Number 3 was Autumn Hearth, which is my younger daughter's favorite fall scent. And then number 4 was Newborn Nursery. Again, for me, not a shocker. And number 5 is another one that I love, Around the Campfire. Guys, and we're gonna keep going because I've got a top 12 and then some others that are sort of honorable mentions. And then I also found out what notes, and a lot of these I can be scared of too, what notes you steer clear of when it comes to getting a new scent into your ordering roster. So let's start out though with the number 1 most hated Scentsy scent of all time in the catalog, and I do tend to agree personally, and that is weathered leather. I don't even have a bar of it. Now, my experience with weathered leather is that the people that order it, it's not that everyone from Texas is the only group that orders weathered leather, but y'all in Texas love your leather scents. You also liked, from ordering last August, that whole leather collection that Scentsy put out where we had Under the Oak Tree, which I clubbed because I really do like a lot of outdoorsy, leathery, and woodsy scents, but not too heavy. And then there was one called, I think, Countin' the Stars, whichever one it was that was black, that had weathered leather plus strawberry. People in Texas lost their minds over that. I didn't really love it. I liked it better than weathered leather, but I liked the softer ones. So there was the Hometown Cowboy, that's in my club, the Under the Oak Tree, which had a lot of wood plus apple plus leather, loved that. And there was one that to me smelled like burned marshmallows, and that was like white leather and something. I couldn't deal with that one. But this and the scent note of leather is definitely one of the most feared and avoided out of all the things. So that was not a surprise, but very interesting. So yeah, why this stays in the catalog is because certain groups of people adore this. They order tons of it, and so it just stays and stays. But that is definitely number 1, most detested, most feared, most avoided scent, hands down. Now number 2, y'all made my heart hurt. Autumn Hearth. Oh, this is a beautiful scent. It's supposed to be, to me, supposed to be as though you are sitting in a room in the fall, and I would definitely think of like an old house or a cabin where you have a gorgeous wood fire, and then maybe you're eating a beautiful bowl of applesauce, or you're baking an apple pie, and it's just warm and smoldery goodness. So I'm going to tell you what Scentsy says about this, and I will admit that I used to avoid warming this even after I bought a couple bars because I didn't like certain notes about it when it first hit the warmer. And I can understand that struggle, but you get through that first half an hour to an hour and it cools right out, and it is glorious and it lasts forever. So Scentsy says that Autumn Hearth is apple, cinnamon, and tonka. And back to weathered leather. The reason I don't even have a bar is that the one time I was brave enough to order it, I put it in the warmers, and Greg came in and said, "It smells like burned tires in here. Throw whatever that is out." And so I have never ordered another bar. That's my weathered leather experience. And like I said, there are some of you that absolutely love it. I'm sure it's a good mixer. I saw a lot of that on the poll, and that's fantastic. And maybe someday I'll get brave and order another bar, but it was not a good experience for me in the past. But this autumn hearth, I believe what scares people is the smolderiness plus the tonka bean. And I will admit, in the clam or in the tester, you're kind of like, I don't know about this. But another thing that you need to think about is if all you've ever done with any scent from Scentsy is smell a tester, you are totally missing out on the whole experience. Here, we'll get to this one later. Because there are notes on the top of the bar, there are notes on the bottom of the bar. Those things are often even literally the top and bottom notes of the fragrance because the oils just settle in different physical places within the wax. And you have to warm it to get all of those things to combine. And then you really need to give it at least 3 or 4 hours in the warmer before you say yuck to any scent. And truly, a whole day is best. There are definitely scents. I just did it with Pistachio Woods where I get it in and I'm just like, ugh, I can't deal with that. So I understand that there are things that people just aren't going to like. But Autumn Hearth, as high up as it is on the no thank you, you guys really need to melt this once. Just take one for the team and try it. Because it's really our best apple cinnamon scent. It's much more interesting than apple and cinnamon sticks, at least to me, and that didn't show up at all on here as an oh yuck scent. So I do find that interesting because that's white pumpkin and the apple and some really mellow cinnamon and then some oak to kind of give that balance. But this one, this Autumn Hearth is fantastic. It is so nice late fall. Oh, and like I said, it's my younger daughter's favorite other than caramel apple craze. So that was eye-opening for me. All right, the next one that was on our poll that people hated, and I agree with you on this, is Newborn Nursery. Here's my first and only bar of Newborn Nursery. Who knows how old this is? I basically keep it for videos like this. It truly smells like baby powder. It is strong. It's very pretty, honestly, just as a scent. I just find that it overtakes my home and smothers me, but if you are a Newborn Nursery lover, this is the only one where I truly haven't met the people that purchase it. I've met the people that purchase weathered leather, but not this one. So I would love to know, what is your story if you are a Newborn Nursery devotee, because it just stays and stays in the catalog. Okay, the next one. Maple Apple Bourbon, y'all. This one hurt. This is one of my favorite fall scents, and if you watch me, you know I describe my personality as being like maple apple bourbon. It's so good, but you hate the maple. I get it. The red delicious and the bourbon in here, probably if you added a little bit of spice, a lot of you would buy it, but you don't like the maple note. And this is an unapologetic bar. If you don't like it, you're just not going to like it. Whereas with Autumn Hearth, I will stand by the fact that you have to melt it to try it. Maple apple bourbon doesn't change. Maple apple bourbon is what it is. And Scentsy says that this is juicy red apple, rich maple, and a splash of bourbon. Yeah, that's what it is. It is extremely strong. For those of us that love it, you get so much bang for your buck with this bar. It is so good. But I will absolutely understandingly say this is a favorite of certain people and not a favorite of others. And the next one, I'm going to tell you, you got to get one of these two. Do not be afraid of Around the Campfire. Unless you have hated every single slightly smoky scent you've ever had in your home, don't pass this up. This is not like a bonfire in a bad sense. And it's not like Fireside from Bath & Body Works, which I know is a scary, scary scent and is way too strong. Around the Campfire is mountain air, fresh fallen wood, and smoky embers. It has the wood note, you guys. It has this beautiful, sweet, beautiful, sappy, smoky, almost incensey scent. It is strong, but it's not overbearing. It isn't as strong as Newborn Nursery. It's not as strong as Maple Apple Bourbon. It's definitely not as strong as Weathered Leather by any means. And this is the most glorious mixer. It would be great with Alpine Escape, which we will actually talk about. I was surprised that people are already afraid of that one. This is so good. You have to try this. Please, please try this one just for me once. And you can yell at me if you don't like it. And it mixes so well. So those were the top 5. Now, the next ones that people have been scared of that they don't order are Mystery Man, and then, of course, two of my other favorites, and I knew you guys would hate these, Clove and Cinnamon and Cinnamon Bear. That didn't shock me as much as Autumn Hearth. Autumn Sunset, here's another one, it's just heavy spices. So Clove and Cinnamon, Cinnamon Bear, Autumn Sunset, they all kind of came in the same amount of oh yuck in the pack when it came to voting. Blueberry Cheesecake, which personally I can't stand. Cedar Cider, you guys, really? And Eucalyptus Wreath. So that's the top 12 as far as the poll that I did. And enough of you responded that I think it's probably reasonably indicative to the way that people think as a group around America. So let's just start with the one that I can't do. And this is Blueberry Cheesecake. There is the blueberry and the sweetness and the graham cracker. But then the cheesecake note itself, and I know this is just one of those smells that people smell different ways. Whereas I think with spice, it's just whether or not you like the scent. I think everybody still smells the same thing. It's just, is it appealing or not? But literally, people smell different things with blueberry cheesecake. Some of you smell sweetness and creaminess and real bakery. And I get sour milk, really unenjoyable, strong, pushy, offensive bakery, unfortunately. But that one I think is split 50-50 with just what your nose picks up. Now this one surprised me. Why everybody's afraid of Mystery Man, I don't know. It took me a while to order this because I know what cologne notes I really like, and this is kind of on the bottom of the cologne pile, but I like it for me. So this is white cedar, verbena, and bergamot, and it's really classic. I will melt this happily. It's just that I like the warmth of the teaks and the ambers and the resins in a men's cologne better. But this is so, so traditional, classic. It's very balanced. It's cool. It's refreshing. It's crisp. It's a very good performer without being too strong. So if you just hate cologne to hate cologne, don't order it. But if you just haven't ordered it and you have liked other colognes, especially if you like Shaka, that's similar to this. I like Shaka a little bit better because it's slightly warmer, but they're very similar. Oh, this is really good. So I would say, please try that. Okay, now the next two, I get it. I totally understand why people are afraid of these. Cinnamon Bear, Clove and Cinnamon. You have to love spice. Now between the two of them, honestly, guys, Cinnamon Bear is not as strong as you all think it is. I have heard for years, Cinnamon Bear is going to singe my nose. Cinnamon Bear is going to overtake my house. Cinnamon Bear is going to be aggressive. It's a fireball. It isn't. It's cinnamon, yes. But it doesn't have that cheapness that a lot of cinnamon candles do that I think it just makes everybody so afraid of cinnamon. This is smooth, good cinnamon. It's strong, yes, but it's done right. Don't be as scared of this as you are. Just try it once. And if you hate it, I do have my mixers here, and I would say that any spice scent can be best knocked down with vanilla bean buttercream. And I'm going to be needing to get me a new brick because this one's pretty beat up. But if you don't have that, this is only available in club. But another thing that would knock down any spice is sugar cookie. And if you get any of these bars, because I beg you to try them, and you just truly, truly cannot do it, they can be mixed well. They could also be mixed with the citrus. They could be mixed with heavier bakery, like maybe a Make Me Snickerdoodle. And a lot of these spice scents mix beautifully with tree. And then around the campfire is Cinnamon Bear's best friend. I'm telling you, those two together make the most gorgeous winter hearth 1 cube to 1 cube mix. They are incredible. But anyway, sugar cookie would work. Even very vanilla, which isn't as strong, it's not as rich, but if this is all you have, you could still probably make this, tone those down. And then the new vanilla amber that will come out on September 1st. I think this may have its own issues for some people because they don't like the amber and the rum. But this will tone down spice probably really well, because there's a lot here. It's like take vanilla bean buttercream and add the amber and add that rum. So I just want to really encourage you guys, if you're willing to try spice, just make sure you also order some vanilla bean buttercream or something similar so you can temper it if it's too much. All right, so Cinnamon Bear, honestly, try it. Now, I understand why people are terrified of clove and cinnamon. That's two of the strongest, most aggressive spices out there. And this is like my favorite thing in the world. I love this bar. So it is a lot of clove, but there's so much cinnamon in here because if it was just straight clove, even I probably couldn't melt it because cloves are so strong. This one would probably be really, really good with the vanilla amber. Like mix them together and you would get a very sophisticated spice gourmand scent. But Autumn Hearth is similar to this, but then it's got the tonka bean and the apple. Cozy Fireside is similar to this, and of course that's discontinued, but that is my all-time favorite scent. And if this is the very first video you've ever watched from Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents, hello and welcome. Please like and subscribe. But I am the spice queen when it comes to all of the YouTubers out there, and I find that I don't talk about it like this very often, but I am one of the very few that will stand up for the old spicy classics because everybody else throws them under the bus. Not everybody, but it feels like it sometimes. So these two bars, yes, I get it. I get that they can be terrifying. If I was going to tell you to just pick one, if you hate clove and cinnamon equally, just get the cinnamon bear. If you like cloves and you're not as sure about cinnamon, clove and cinnamon is gorgeous. And those last, especially the clove and cinnamon, that will go for 5 days. Which leads me to the next one, where if you are absolutely 100% opposed to just straight spice, maybe try Autumn Sunset, because Autumn Sunset is going to give you all that spice, but it's going to give you other notes too. And this bar will last 5 days. I kid you not. Okay, so this is like a snapshot of seasons: apples, pumpkins, fall leaves, and spices. So this gives you a little bit of that fall warmth from some pumpkin and outdoorsy leaves. But oddly enough, what I get out of this bar, and I say it every year, I kind of get welcome home, like that cinnamon sugar spiciness, which that one is so much lighter. None of you complained about that bar. And if you are just absolutely terrified of spice, try Welcome Home, that one, or Cinnamon Vanilla. Those two are usually pleasing to everybody. But there's this depth in here, which I guess is the leaves and the pumpkins, but I almost get a deep berry or pomegranate note slightly in the background of this. And what's weird is I melt this one usually in August or early September, even though it would be perfectly appropriate for Thanksgiving. It's so good. So if you're willing to try spice and you just cannot abide in your brain by the idea of ordering just a straight cinnamon bar or a straight cinnamon and clove, try Autumn Sunset. There's a reason that this stays in the catalog and it doesn't retire, and that's because it is a very, very classic, fantastic fall profile spice bar, but it is more than that, and it's very, very good. I think of the ones that I'm trying to encourage you to try, this one might be one that's a real pleasant surprise that you'd be like, man, why didn't I order that sooner? Okay, now the next one, I understand why you guys were scared of this. It took me a few years to get into Cedar Cider. And the reason is because just like with Autumn Hearth, you open the clam and you go, I don't know about that. So Cedar Cider has, where is it? I'm not sure if it's in spice or if that one's going to be in woods. That might be in woods. Let's see here. Cedar Cider. Yep, Cedar Cider's in woods this year. Okay. An autumn medley of the reddest apples, cinnamon sticks, vanilla beans, and white cedar branches. So I think the thing that threw me was the cedar in this, and I love cedar most of the time. But the vanilla bean in here with the apples and then that cinnamon stick, I just wasn't sure in the clam if I was going to like this. And it did actually take me a few melts, but this was my bridge to overcome terror of Cedar Cider. And that is an equal mix of vanilla bean buttercream and cedar cider. This works, guys. The reason is because there's already vanilla bean in cedar cider, which when you smell it, you're like, I don't smell it. But it's here. These two together, absolute home run. So if none of the other things that I told you to try are appealing, but you already have vanilla bean buttercream, get 1 bar of cedar cider. Mix them 1 to 1. And I really think that you will like it. It is so good. And now I'm addicted. And this is one of the ones I always club. I mean, except for Autumn Sunset, which I gamble on because it's so strong you need like 2 bars, you're good. I pretty much clubbed all of those spicy bars that we already talked about so that I wouldn't be without them this fall if Scentsy decided, like the rest of you, that they were done with spice. Okay, so what's next? I've got Eucalyptus Wreath last. Now, listen, guys. I know eucalyptus is a terrifying note. I am very cautious about eucalyptus, and personally, now this is not at the top of the poll, but the things Elizabeth struggles with are mint and linen and very strong laundry scents. Now the laundry scents, it isn't because I don't appreciate the smell, it's that it literally gives me a headache and I cannot do it. Like my friend Robin, she doesn't like tree, but white florals truly give her a migraine, so she can't do them. So I totally understand if, as I'm describing these, you cannot order something because it makes you ill. That's fine. It's just, if we're resistant to something just because we think we aren't going to like it, it's kind of like with food. You know, just try it. It might be so much better than you think. My older daughter ate cheesecake for the first time last weekend because she was in a social situation where she had to, and it didn't kill her. She even thought it wasn't too bad. Anyway, Eucalyptus Wreath. Of all these top 12 bars, this is the least scary. There's nothing scary about this bar, guys. Nothing. So this one is, let's see, Eucalyptus Wreath. That's got to be in fresh, right? Yes. Fresh eucalyptus, juniper, and frosted mint. Now, I don't really like mint. I love juniper. And eucalyptus, I wasn't sure about. Oh, it's so good. This is gentle. This is the Christmassy scent for people who hate pine tree. It's so nice, you guys. It's great for fall. You remember a few years ago, about the time that this came out, we had this trend in home decor where everything was seeded eucalyptus. Now that's different than the eucalyptus that sort of looks like a crinkled accordion. Seeded eucalyptus is much more the smell of this. It's soft, it's sweet, it's really nice. And I do have Just Breathe here, which is another feared bar that we're going to talk about, and I can understand a little more why Just Breathe is terrifying. This is not. This is so good. This is so, so good. So out of the top 12, I truly think this is the one that is unfair to give this a bad rap. It's a great bar. Okay, now we're going to get down to the ones where this is more just certain people don't like certain categories. And there are a couple here that hurt my heart. You have to try these. They're not scary, you guys. Salted Caramel Toffee, Just Breathe, and Mocha Doodle. Those came in pretty high right after the top 12. So let's talk about those. I get it with Just Breathe. Let me see what Scentsy says about this one. This is eucalyptus, lemon, and mints. Yeah, this smells like a very tasteful version of maybe a Vicks vaporizer. But it's actually really good. This is one that I have 1 or 2 bars of that I will keep for when I'm not feeling awesome, or it's good for early spring. It's good for a stressful day. It's so much less than what you think it's going to be, honestly. You know, it's just one of those smells that I think we tend to veer away from unless we are just a lover of eucalyptus. But between Just Breathe and Eucalyptus Wreath, Just Breathe is far more traditional. This Eucalyptus Wreath is not what you think it is. Please, please try that one. But yeah, this, it's kind of a hit or miss for people, but it is very good for what it is. And there's a reason why it's always in the catalog, and I think you can get a brick of that. I'm not sure. Okay, now the next one that scared people out of their wits is Salted Caramel Toffee. And I think this is just because one of the things that kept coming up is milk, butter, and super caramely sweetness. And that used to scare me too. Like, it's not always my favorite category. But this Salted Caramel Toffee is probably one of the most tasteful, least offensive versions of caramel and toffee that we've ever done. And that's probably why it stays in the catalog. It does have the milky note. It does have the toffee butter note. But then that little bit of salt cuts it, and it's not extremely strong. So that one's really not too bad. Now, Scary Good was next with Mocha Doodle. These guys came in kind of same. Now, I just warmed a bar of Mocha Doodle, and I will be talking about that in my What I've Been Warming. I have probably ordered 5 or 6 bars of Mocha Doodle since I started with Scentsy. At this point, it's like 12 to 13 years ago. And I wanted to like it. It's a beautiful description. Let me find that. That should be in bakery. Coffee beans, cocoa, sugar, caramel, and heavy cream. Like, what's not to like? But I would put it in the warmer and it would get burned on me. So there are certain scents that have the chocolate, coffee, cream thing where if they're not done well, they just aren't good because they go off in your warmer and they're not worth buying. Where spice will be true to itself, spice is just whether you like it or not. That never goes off. That's probably why it's my favorite note. Spice notes, like, they're so loyal. They are kind of like my husband and I. They're going to tell you up front exactly who they are. There are no surprises, and either you love us or hate us. But anyway, back to Mocha Doodle. I melted my first successful bar ever of Mochadoodle. Didn't go bad, didn't go off. I loved it. I ordered another one. So this is the most popular coffee-ish scent that we have. It's not like a true coffee, but if it stays sweet and mellow like this last bar did, which was so wonderful, it was so encouraging to me, I would recommend Mochadoodle. It's really not that offensive. It's very middle of the road. Now, scary good, I get it. This is a scary bar, for real. I love this thing, but I understand why people don't like this. Let's see, where is this? It got to be bakery. Pumpkin puree, fresh cinnamon, toasted butterscotch, and creamy vanilla. So this is very warm. It has a ton of beautiful spice, and I love the smoked butterscotch. It's definitely trick-or-treat appropriate. Oh, it's so good. And it has a little bit of Scentsy squashy pumpkin, and I will be getting to the whole pumpkin debate toward the end of the video because there were certain scents where people didn't talk specifically about a bar, but they mentioned the note, the pumpkin note that can get kind of scary. So I'm going to actually read the different pumpkin bars that we've got in the catalog and tell you which ones didn't show up at all on this bowl and which ones obviously got discussed. So Scary Good was the worst though. That's the one that people do not like. Okay, now I've got two here where I'm just making a plea. Guys, these are not scary. Silver Bells. You have to try Silver Bells if you are a card-carrying consultant. You have to. And the Cozy Cardigan, not scary. And that's just because of the rose. Silver Bells. You have to try Silver Bells. I am a mint hater when it's too strong. Like, I never order Perfect Peppermint, even though that didn't even show up. Why is it that y'all love your peppermint? I thought somebody was going to complain about Perfect Peppermint. I don't like it. And yes, this video is full of Elizabeth's personal opinions, and I hope that you are laughing. I'm not truly mad. I just wanted to have fun with this video, and I want to know what you love and what you hate in the comments. Please participate. Scent is so subjective. Just because I like it doesn't mean you need it, or vice versa. But anyway, Silver Bells, mint candy canes, winter pear, caramel, and vanilla sugar. This is one of the most unique, truly only Scentsy's ever made one that smells like this scent, as far as I know, and I've smelled a lot of wax in my life. This is beautiful. It's not scary. It's gorgeous. Winter pear, caramel, the vanilla sugar. And then the mint gives it mystery. This is like tearjerker good. A lot of my friends that are consultants, we club this every single year because it is not Christmas. Even for someone who hates mint, it is not Christmas. It's about Silver Bells. If you are a Scentsy person, it's so good. Okay, and then the other one is Cozy Cardigan. Now, if you like body care and you like those creamy, slightly sweet, perfumey scents that have a little bit of a suede undertone, this isn't scary at all. The rose, which I'm sure is the thing people freak out about, it's barely there, guys. So soft suede, blushing rose, and amber silk. This is one of the nicest bars. You'll be shocked. If you've never ordered this before, you will love this. Unless you just truly hate body care. If you don't like body care scents, yeah, maybe skip this. But don't let the rose scare you away. It's not there like you think. It's so good. Okay, so those were really the ones where people seem to just be like, nope, hard pass. Sleigh Ride, Alpine Escape, Blue Grotto, and Gimme Candy ended up on that list too. I don't have a sample of Gimme Candy. I'd have to dig around in my testers. Blue Grotto, it was just one person that mentioned that. That is happy oranges and greenery and tropical scents. And I know I was focusing on the fall winter catalog, so I don't know what people might be a little leery of spring summer. But I definitely saw that other than a few notes, and I'm going to go through the notes after we get these last few bars discussed here. The thing that people love is fruity. And I guess that's just not offensive to most people. And there's so much more fruit in the spring summer season that we really didn't discuss anything like that. Like, nobody complained about cider mill. Nobody complained about pumpkin roll. Nobody complained about farm stand pumpkin. Those are more generic, more mild-mannered bars that we always have, that always come back. But I was so surprised that a lot of what everybody said, I haven't melted it, I won't melt it, I'm scared of it, they are our core scents that when we get a new group of testers, we don't get more of those because they're always in the catalog. So I was really shocked that the most polarizing scents, pretty much, are the standards and the classics. Very, very interesting. Okay, so next I've got these last few here. Somebody said Autumn Road Trip scared them. Please try this. It's so good. If you don't like outdoorsy, there's just a touch of that autumn funk in here, but it's beautiful apple, pear, and oak. Just gorgeous. If you like apple and cinnamon sticks, try that. It'll be fine. Okay, what was another one? Another one that scared people was Scarlet Sunflower. There weren't that many people that mentioned this, but this is beautiful. It's not floral like a heady floral. It truly smells like sunflowers. If you have a bouquet of sunflowers, it's August, maybe you have some in the house. Stuff your nose in the bouquet of sunflowers. It smells like this. Then add apple and cranberry. It's beautiful. It's very mild. It's very low-key. It would be really pretty with Autumn Road Trip. Just make sure that you separate them because this is not as strong. Gorgeous bar. Okay, another one that scared people is Sleigh Ride. Now, I understand why our dearly departed Iced Pine scared people. That was aggressive. I loved it, but that was aggressive. If you like Very Snowy Spruce, Sleigh Ride is not any scarier. It's fir tree, so if you don't like fir, there's a little bit of outdoor fresh air and just a pinch of cranberry to keep it from being all tree. My friend Robin, who is a card-carrying tree hater, loves this. So I hope that that's helpful. Now, another one that people said they were scared of is our new Alpine Escape. If you like Very Snowy Spruce, take out the pine cones, take out the ambery sweetness and the resin, add the mint, and a little bit more cool tone. Almost if you have smelled Eucalyptus Wreath, throw a little bit of Eucalyptus Wreath in. It's great. I just don't love it as much because I like my trees warm. But this is going to appeal to a lot of people where they don't like the balsams and the resins and the cinnamon and the sweetness in their tree. This is going to be popular. Mark my words. People are going to like that. Okay, now, these are bars that didn't actually... Oh, no, there's one more I missed. Polar Bear Hug. Y'all, Polar Bear Hug? This is not scary. This is beautiful. I didn't order this just because I thought it would be a scent I wouldn't melt much of. This is just as unique as Silver Bells to Scentsy. And this is blackberry jam, brown sugar, vanilla, and amber. Yeah, that sounds weird. It is so good. This is beautiful. If you like Arctic Kiss, you'll like Polar Bear Hug. This would be really good too with Cozy Cardigan. Beautiful smells. Okay. And then somebody said that they weren't sure about cherry chestnut, and this kind of leads me into some of the notes that scared people. So we'll talk about those next. As far as the notes, I'm going to read the list. This scared people because some people don't like chestnut, although that really didn't show up as too much of a hated note, but the cherry. This is very much black cherry. Now, Cherry's Jubilee is also in this catalog, and that is a straightforward, hard-hitting, sweet cherry. So here are all the notes that terrify people when it comes to just any bar or maybe any home fragrance wax in general. The top ones are spice and maple and leather, linen, and laundry. And I think maybe just because we don't have any laundry represented in this catalog, we didn't discuss it. But like my two most feared scents that Scentsy sells, well, besides Newborn Nursery and Weathered Leather, are actually Clean Breeze and Clothesline. Because I can't deal with them, you guys. They make me ill. I try to like Clean Breeze, and I don't mind Clothesline when it comes to washer whiffs and things like that, but it's just too much for me. So linen, Magnolia linen's quite nice. I don't even know if that's still in our spring summer catalog. I think it is. But linen, like the perfume, I believe it's white linen. One time I smelled that at somebody's house, and it about made me ill. And I remembered connecting it with the woman who wore it, who's a really sweet lady, but I literally couldn't be too close to her for too long because that scent note bothers me. Now, I have gotten into vendor wax with Teddy Bees. Her linen's amazing, so I think it just depends on the actual oil, but in general, linen is a total no-no for me, and it makes me sick. And then the other things that were at the top were things like tree, smoky notes, and cologne notes, and I get that. The smoky, that really depends on what else is blended with it. Like, I really do not care for, what was it, the spiced apple and chestnut that we had a few years ago. That was way too smoky. We had like a fireside hearth bar a couple years ago. That was a little too barbecue even for me, and I like my roasty, toasty, deep scents, so I understand that. Now, here are a whole bunch more of notes that we kind of have talked about, some of them that people just steer clear of. Super fresh and watery. I can get that, like aloe water and cucumber. I don't tend to melt too much. I don't hate it, but that one can make me a little ill. eucalyptus, which we talked about, rose, which I get it if it's heirloom rose, or if it was the lemon water and rose one, or we had like a lemon and rose. That was kind of a thing 2 years ago, like January, February, March. We had some scent of the months that then became catalog staples in our spring summer groups. I like them because I like antique rose, but that can get a lot, just way overwhelming fast, and I understand. Chocolate. And yeah, if chocolate's not done well, it's nasty. I have one very interesting chocolate and Palo Santo and cream blend called Dapper Don from Teddy B's. Best chocolate scent I've ever had, but it's about the only one I can think of. Mint. Now this is me. And there are other people that complained about mint too. I don't have a problem with garden mint. I have more trouble with aggressive peppermint, like, what is that, Twisted Peppermint, that candle from Bath & Body Works. Oh my gosh, it's another one. I can't have that thing in my house. It makes me ill. And my younger daughter loves it. And so she melts her perfect peppermint bar in her room with the door closed. Mint to be merry wasn't too bad. And I like some mint combinations, like the Alpine Escape is fine, the Eucalyptus one is fine, Eucalyptus Wreath. There are others where as long as it's a secondary note or it's more of a true candy cane or a buttercreamy mint, I'm fine. But, like I said, I love garden mint. We had that Mint Fields that was good. I love Mojito Mambo. Oh gosh, the mint in that is fabulous. But anyway, butter, which I get that. So, oh shoot, I didn't grab it. I didn't grab the bar. I forgot it. Brown butter pumpkin from our new catalog. People are terrified of the butter. It is not that bad. Maybe I can find it in here real quick, because I had really wanted to discuss that with you guys. It's beautiful. Oh, here's Gimme Candy. You can smell that. Beautiful butter. This new brown butter pumpkin. Autumn. Ah, here it is. Brown butter pumpkin. Okay. Now, I definitely want to compare brown butter pumpkin to Forever Fall. These two are different. They are not twins. If you hate very Perry pumpkin, if you hate pumpkin marshmallow, if you hate everything nice, don't order Forever Fall. Just don't do it. It's not worth your money. I love Forever Fall with a passion. It is so squashy. It's so deep. It's so decadent. And I get it. A lot of you hate this, and that's fine. Actually, between Scary Good and Forever Fall, I actually think more people will not like Forever Fall. And the Scary Good is I think, more appealing. But this brown butter pumpkin, I think this will appeal to everybody. It's beautiful. It's good and strong. Beautiful throw. And let's go to all those pumpkin-y scents. I don't know if all of them are on the same page, so we can talk through all of them together so you can figure out which pumpkin you want. So if you want pumpkin light, Pumpkin Roll or Farm Stand Pumpkin, I think, are your bars. Or even, like, Cider Mill has a little bit of a hint of pumpkin in with the apple. Let's get back here. Okay. Brown Butter Pumpkin. Farm Stand Pumpkin. Oh, a Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl. Nobody complained about that. If you just want a beautiful bakery pumpkin with cinnamon vanilla frosting and just a sprinkle of cinnamon that's sweet, get Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl. Oh, but Farm Stand Pumpkins, apple, cinnamon stick pumpkin, and caramel. Then this brown butter pumpkin does come in heavier than those two, and that's going to be melted butter, brown sugar, and pumpkin, but it's got a little bit of spice. It is creamy. It's almost like a pumpkin custard. I cannot get enough. It's amazing. Okay, then we've got, like, Forever Fall is the baked pumpkin, cinnamon stick, and brown sugar. It's heavy. Then Scary Good is that pumpkin puree, fresh cinnamon, toasted butterscotch, and creamy vanilla. And Pumpkin Roll is pumpkin pie, yellow cake, pecans, butter, and spice. And really, Pumpkin Cinnamon Swirl, Farm Stand Pumpkin, Pumpkin Roll, probably the most user-friendly. And then really, there's First Day of Fall. That has pumpkin in it, too. Is that in spice? I gotta find that. First Day of Fall. Just pick pumpkins, autumn woods, ground nutmeg, and a dash of cinnamon. Now, I by no means hate First Day of Fall, but I do find it very sharp with the woods and the cinnamon and the nutmeg, and I am surprised that no one said they didn't care for that. I really was shocked by that one. Okay, so that's pretty much all the pumpkin. But man, if you like heavy, gooey, decadent, squashy pumpkin, get some Forever Fall. You'll thank me later. Okay, so then what we have left here, some people said that they just don't like the note of lavender, and I get it. It's kind of like white florals. Some people just can't do lavender. Our new Leaves in Lavender, though, if you're scared of lavender, still order that. That is phenomenal with the warmth and the woods and the leaves and the cinnamon, and just the hint of lavender gives a uniqueness. It's not like this at all. It's not medicinal. That is going to be, I think, one of our best-selling bars for fall, Leaves in Lavender. Now, another one that scares people is hayrides. I get it. Even when I put this in last week, there's a little something in here where if you don't like funky hay and fall fresh and that kind of walk in the woods, it's almost a little bit of moldy decay, but it smells really good to some of us. Don't get hayrides, but I love this. And if you like outdoorsy golden goodness, you got to get some. Okay, and then here is a bar I thought that all of you were going to say, this is scary. Nobody mentioned it. White pumpkin and driftwood. Do you all just really like the notes in here? I mean, I love this bar, but I thought people were going to complain about this. So that's in woods. White pumpkin, driftwood, white cardamom, and warm solar amber. This is strong, powerful, interesting, woodsy. Now, here's the shocker. If you like white pumpkin and driftwood, where to go, where to go, where to go? You're probably going to like Around the Campfire. They're not that different because the driftwood and the cardamom in here are slightly smoky, and it has some similarity to this. I'm not kidding. Now, of course, there's more embers, there's more smoking around the campfire, but really, if you can do this, you can do this. So let's get through the rest of these notes here and we'll wrap this video up. I knew this was going to be long. So we've got the milk and the cream cheese and the butter. Totally get that. Those can be really weird. Cherry, which we talked about. Now wood. Now wood in general, there are lots of different ways to do it, but if you just don't like oaky, outdoorsy, masculine, warm cologne scents, I understand that. Grassy and green, sometimes that scares me too. Like, I don't think I've ever ordered their fresh cut grass when it's in BB&B and I'm choosing it. Cranberry. That's another note that people do not like. And the peach. As far as notes that are fruity, it's peach and cranberry that people don't care for. Now, we have this new peach, white peach and cranberry bar. Honestly, both of those notes that can be offensive sort of cancel each other out. It's really good. I would say you should order that. And I just talked about lavender. So this is one of the first times in a long time I've done an almost 45-minute video. It'll take forever to upload. Please put in your comments. What are you willing to try that's always terrified you? What are you just still like, Elizabeth, doesn't matter what you say, I'm not ordering it. And what do you love that other people hate? Oh, and I didn't even put Amber Hollow on this table because the pepper, the spice, the clove, the funk, that's one of my favorite, absolutely hated by all of you bars. And I know that that's a personal taste thing, but it wasn't in this catalog. But anyway, I would love to keep this conversation going. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will talk to you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.